The galaxy was vast, filled with countless civilizations and secrets lost to time. The Lurvian exploratory fleet had traversed hundreds of star systems, uncovering artifacts, relics, and remnants of long-forgotten races. Yet, for all the ancient wonders they had discovered, nothing compared to the mystery that had emerged in their latest mission. The message had come from the deepest archives of the Drakkar dynasty, a race whose empire had once dominated an entire quadrant of space. A cryptic transmission, written in the oldest of tongues, had surfaced from a planet known only as Earth, a name the Lurvian scouts had dismissed as little more than a myth, an ancient human world thought lost after its annihilation in the galactic wars centuries ago. The transmission, however, spoke of a weapon, an ancient power of unimaginable force, referred to only as human. The Lurvians, experts in deciphering relics and ancient texts, had been sent to uncover what the weapon truly was. Captain Zara Solt, leader of the exploratory team, stood before the glowing hologram that depicted Earth, a pale blue dot in the far reaches of the galaxy. Her team consisted of 3 other highly skilled officers: Zeldar, a towering creature of the Krivark species, whose intellect rivaled the greatest minds of the Empire; Luma, an agile and cunning Norkian scout; and Sarek, a quiet and observant Zyran who had spent decades in the deepest archives of galactic history. Together, they were tasked with finding the truth behind the weapon and determining if it could be harnessed by their empire or destroyed if it proved too dangerous. The team had arrived in orbit around Earth after a long and perilous journey, the blue and green planet a stark contrast to the barren worlds they had explored in the past. The atmosphere was rich with life, the surface teeming with the hum of an ancient civilization. As their ship descended through the thick clouds, Zara's thoughts were a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The legends of Earth were many, but no one alive had ever set foot there since its fall. What kind of weapon could an entire planet have left behind? Their landing site was an ancient ruin, located far from the current human settlements, where the remnants of cities, long overtaken by nature, sprawled beneath them. The ruins were located deep within a forgotten jungle, and as they ventured toward it, the air grew thick with moisture and the smell of decaying foliage. Massive stone structures, covered in ivy and creeping moss, loomed above them, standing as silent sentinels to the past. "We're here," Zara said as she surveyed the ruins. "This is it, the place mentioned in the archives." Zeldar's many eyes scanned the surroundings, his multiple sensors picking up strange, faint energy signatures. "It's not just an old ruin," he muttered. "There's something still here, something active." Luma, always the first to scout ahead, moved silently through the overgrowth, her keen eyes darting between the shadows. She paused, hand raised, signaling the others to stop. "Over there," she whispered. "A doorway." The team gathered and moved cautiously toward the structure Luma had found. It was an ancient stone door, inscribed with symbols none of them recognized. The air around it seemed to hum with a faint, almost imperceptible energy. Zara approached it, her hand brushing against the carvings. "This is it. This is where the weapon is supposed to be." Sarek, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward and began to examine the markings. His voice was soft, almost reverent. "The writing, it speaks of a force beyond any weapon known to the galaxy. It calls it human, but it's not clear whether it refers to an object, a concept, or something more." Before anyone could respond, the stone door rumbled, and with a heavy groan, it slowly began to slide open. Inside, the team found a large, dimly lit chamber, its walls adorned with murals and sculptures depicting scenes of a fierce, yet strangely noble civilization. The air was thick with the weight of history, and the quiet stillness made their movements feel almost sacrilegious. At the center of the room, on a raised platform, stood a pedestal, and on that pedestal was a simple, smooth stone slab. It looked ordinary, almost too plain for something so important. Zara's heart raced. Could this be the weapon? The key to untold power? She stepped forward, her hand hovering over the stone. There was no indication of what it might do, no weaponry, no hidden mechanisms. But as her fingers brushed against it, the stone began to glow with an eerie, soft light. The light expanded outward, illuminating the entire chamber and the murals that adorned the walls. The images came to life, playing out scenes of ancient warriors, battles fought, and victories won. The more they watched, the more they realized the true nature of human. The stone slab was not a weapon in the traditional sense. It was a record, a memory, preserving the consciousness of an entire species, one that had once lived on Earth. The ancient humans had been a species of incredible warriors, capable of feats that even the most powerful empires couldn't comprehend. They had once been the galaxy's greatest threat, until they disappeared without a trace, leaving behind nothing but their stories and their legacy. As the murals played, Zara saw the truth unfold before her. The weapon wasn't something to be wielded physically. The weapon was humanity itself, their strength, their ability to overcome any obstacle, their unyielding will to survive. It was not a tool or an artifact. It was an idea, a force that had been preserved in this forgotten corner of the universe. Zeldar, standing in awe, spoke softly. The weapon is not a thing. It is a people, a lost species who were the galaxy's most formidable warriors. Luma looked at Zara, her eyes wide with realization. You mean humanity? This is what they left behind. Their legacy? Yes, Zara whispered. The legacy of the greatest warriors the galaxy ever knew. The weapon was never meant to be wielded by others. It was meant to inspire, to show the galaxy that humanity's strength is immortal. The team stood there in stunned silence, the weight of their discovery settling over them. They had come to find a weapon that could tip the balance of power in the galaxy, but they had found something far more powerful, an enduring spirit, a legacy that no empire could ever truly defeat. As they prepared to leave the chamber, the glowing stone returned to its dormant state, as though the message had been delivered, its purpose fulfilled. The warlords who had sent them to this planet would never understand what they had uncovered. They would think it a failure, a fruitless mission. But Zara knew the truth. They had found something far more dangerous than any weapon, something no empire, no warlord could ever truly conquer, the strength and indomitable spirit of humanity. As they left the ruins and made their way back to the ship, Zara looked one last time at the planet below. Earth was no longer just a distant memory. It was a symbol of resilience, of survival, of a force that had been long forgotten by the galaxy. And now, the Lurvian exploratory fleet had learned the greatest lesson of all. Some weapons, the most powerful of all, can never be destroyed. They are ideas passed down through time, forever shaping the fate of the universe.